my name is Ginger, and today I'm going to be teaching your Level 1 class. Teaching from my home to yours is a little bit different because usually we'd be in the gymnastics room, but we can still have tons of fun doing gymnastics from home. But first, let's go get warmed up. Today, we are going to be warming up and stretching together. So for warm-up, you are going to want to make sure you have a little bit of space that you can run and move your body and get all of your muscles warmed up. You can do this in place if you don't have a space to run around, but if you have a little bit of space, it'd be good to clear that out. Maybe you have some chairs or a coffee table that you could ask an adult's permission to help move out of the way so you can get good and warmed up for gymnastics. The other thing you're going to need is something that you can stretch on. I have my yoga mat out here today to stretch on, and maybe you have one at home too. Or maybe you want to use a towel or a blanket, something that you can do some stretching on the floor that doesn't hurt like being on hardwood floor might. All right, let's get started with warm-up. So for today, we are going to be playing Bones, No Bones for our warm-up game. And this is one of my favorites. So when I say bones, I'm going to give us an activity, like running or jumping or skipping. And when I say no bones, we're going to fall to the ground, just like this. All right, let's get started with running bones. Come on and run with me. Remember, you can run in place if you don't have room. And no bones. And frog jump bones. Ribbit, 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 ribbit. And no bones. And 1 foot hopping bones. And switch feet. And no bones. And bunny hop bones. We're going to jump on both feet. And no bones. And skipping bones. And no bones. And now we're going to do super speedy, fast running bones. How fast can you run? Great job. Keep it going. And no bones. All right. You can pause the video and go get a drink if you need, and then come back, and we're going to get started on stretching now. So the first thing we're going to do for stretching is our big arm circles forward. And we're going to switch into our big arm circles backward. And now we're going to reach all the way up to the sky. Reach those fingers up. Bring your feet right next to each other like mine are. And we're going to reach down to the ground, making sure we lock our knees. And we're going to hold this for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now we're going to jump our feet apart. And we're going to reach over to 1 foot. And we're going to hold for 3 seconds on this foot. 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to reach over to the other foot and hold for 3 seconds on this foot. 1, 2, and 3. All right, now we're going to sit on the ground and we're going to sit in straddle, which is where we have our legs out in a V. And we're going to reach our arms out to the side. We're going to reach one arm over our waist and the other over our head towards our foot. We want to make sure we keep our knees pointing up towards the sky and that we point our toes while we're doing this. We're going to hold this one for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Arms back out, and we're going to cross our other arm and reach over to the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, now we are going to reach out to the middle. You're going to reach as far as you can go while still keeping one for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now we're gonna point our toes forward and we're gonna reach and hold again. Reach as far as you can. And we're gonna hold this one for 5 seconds as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, now you're going to point and flex your feet. See if you can point one and flex one. And now we're gonna roll out our ankles. So we're gonna roll them 3 times forward, 2 and 3, and 3 times backwards. 1, 2, and 3. And we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. 3 forwards, 1, 2, and 3 backwards. 1, 2, and 3. All right, now we are going to stretch out our wrists. So we're going to make puppy dog paws with your wrists, and you're gonna put the backs of your hands down on the ground. We're gonna hold this one for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now you're gonna face your palms towards yourself, and you're gonna flip your hands over so your fingers are towards your knees, and your palms are going to be down on the ground. And we're gonna hold this one for 5 seconds as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now we're going to lace our fingers together and roll them out. Kind of like you're making a blender. I think I'm gonna make a chocolate milkshake in my blender. What are you gonna make in your blender? And now we're gonna make a roller coaster and see how fast your roller coaster can go. How slow your roller coaster can go. Okay, now we're going to do our splits. So we're gonna bring one leg up. I'm starting with my left leg in front, and you're going to push into a lunge. So in your lunge, only push as far as you can go. If it hurts, you can stop. We want to make sure we keep our back foot flat on the ground, not with our toes under. And we want to make sure our front foot, our knee, stays over our foot. You can have your hands on your knee or on your hips. We're going to hold this one for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now we're going to straighten our front leg, and we're going to try to get your nose down as far towards your knee as you can. And we're going to hold this one for 5 seconds as well. 1, 2, make sure you're pointing your toes. 3, 4, and 5. Now we're going to slide into our splits. If you don't feel ready to try splits, you can stay in a deep lunge like we were just in and hold it there. If you would like to, you can try and slide out into your splits as far as you can go. And we're going to hold this for 5 seconds. Make sure you have one hand on either side supporting you and that you point your toes. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Excellent job. Come out, everybody. All right, we're going to switch legs now and put the other leg in front, and we're going to push into our lunge again. Still making sure that your knee stays right over your foot and your back toes are flat on the ground, not curled under. We're going to hold this one for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, straighten your front leg again. Nose down to your knee. You can do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, we're going to slide into split on this side. Again, remember, if you would like to stay in lunge, you can stay in lunge and only go as far as you can go. We're going to hold this one for 5 seconds as well. Point those toes. Make sure you have a hand on each side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And come out. All right, we are going to do froggy splits now. So froggy splits, we put our hands down on the ground and our knees down on the ground, and we walk our knees out as far as you can. You can put your elbows down on the ground once your knees get far enough apart. We're going to hold this one for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, now we are going to do middle splits. If you would like to keep holding these froggy splits, you may, or we're going to push up into middle splits, which is where we have our hands and our feet on the ground, and we walk our feet out as far as we can, making sure we keep our hips over our legs. We're going to hold this one for 5 seconds. I know it's hard, but I know you can do it. You've got this. 1, 2, 3. Point your toes. 4 and 5. And come out. And shake out those legs into the front. All right, we are going to come back to our pike position, and we are going to do 2 bridges now for our last stretch. So, for a bridge, you're going to lay all the way flat on your back, and you're going to put your hands on the ground with your fingertips facing towards your shoulder and your elbows up in the air. We're going to bring our feet up, flat on the ground behind our butt. And we're going to push our stomach up into the air. And we're going to hold this for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And come down. And now we're going to do 3 tuck and rolls, where we tuck our knees up and we roll. 1, 2, and 3. We do these to help stretch both sides of our back so that our back doesn't get hurt. All right, we're going to do one more bridge now. Remember to push your belly and your head up off the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And come down. Great job, everybody. All right, 3 more tuck and rolls. 1, 2, and 3, and come up. Thank you for stretching with me. You are all super awesome and stretched and warmed up now and ready to get started on the lesson for today. Thanks for warming up with me. I'm so excited you've joined me today on Superhero Day. I'm already dressed in my superhero outfit. If you're not, go ahead and pause the video now and go get changed and then come back. All right, let's get started for today. We're going to start off with floor. For floor today, you're going to want to make sure you have some clear space. I've made sure that I've picked up anything that's in my way, like a chair or moved a coffee table. Make sure to ask for an adult's permission and help moving any bigger pieces of furniture if you need. The other thing you're going to need is some sort of mat or area that you can do your gymnastics in. We are going to be working on turns today for floor, so it's okay if you don't have a mat because we're not going to be doing any rolls or going over our head. I'm also wearing my shoes because I'm outside. If you would like to wear your shoes because you're outside too, or you're inside and have asked an adult's permission to wear shoes, go ahead, but you can do it in bare feet as well. So, first, we are going to go over our turn positions. So there are 2 turn positions that we are going to be using today. And that's coupe, and coupe is where we have our foot at our ankle like this. And passe. And passe is where we bring our foot up to our knee, and our knees in front, not out to the side. We want to make sure when we're turning that we are turning towards the foot that we're standing on, like this. We don't want to turn away from our standing foot. The other thing is to remember to try and have your arms on your hips, or you can put them out in front. All right, we're going to start off with quarter turns. So we are going to do 3 of these in coupe and 3 of them in passe. A quarter turn is where I want to start facing forward towards the camera, and I'm just going to turn a little bit. Not halfway around, not all the way around, just a quarter of the way. All right, let's do 3 of these in coupe. Now you can do this on your left leg or on your right leg. You're just going to pick up the other leg than the one that you're turning on. I'm going to turn on my left. 1, 2, and 3. Fantastic job. All right, we're going to do 3 of those in passe now. I'm going to turn on my right foot this time. 1, 2, and 3. All right, now we are going to get a little trickier and we're going to do half turns. So that's where you're going to start facing one direction and you're going to turn halfway around. We're going to do this by bringing our foot to coupe first. Again, you can be on your left or your right leg. You're going to go up on your toe and you're going to turn to face the other direction. So let's practice 3 of these together in coupe first. 1. I'm going to turn back around to face you, but you can just turn from the other direction back to facing towards me. 2. And 3. All right, now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to bring our foot up in passe. Again, I'm going to do this one on my right leg this time, but you can do it on your left or your right, whichever is more comfortable. I am making sure I'm also turning toward the foot that I'm standing on. So if I'm on my right foot, I'm turning towards the right, not towards the left. Great job, everybody. All right, now we're going to get even more trickier, and we're going to step right into our turn. So I'm going to step, bring my foot up, and turn. Instead of bringing my foot up first, and then going up on my toe, and then turning. All right, we are going to do 5 of these in coupe and 5 of these in passe, where we step into our turn. Again, pick either leg you like or mix it up and use both. I challenge you to try using both so that you can figure out which direction is easier to turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, great job, and 5. All right, we're going to do the same thing, but with our passe now. I'm going to do it on my right leg again this time. So we're going to step into our turn. There's 1, step into our turn. There's 2, step into our turn. There's 3, 2 more. There's 4, last one, make this your best one. And 5. Great work on floor today, everybody. Let's go take a quick water break, and then we're going to come back and get started on beam. Now that we've had a water break, we're going to get started on beam. For beam today, you're going to need something that you can use for beam. I have a towel that I have just rolled up and put on my mat that I'm using on the floor. You could also use a rolled up towel. You could use a rolled up blanket. You could put a tape line on the floor if you ask an adult's permission. You could use a rolled up sheet. You could just use a line that maybe is already on your floor. Anything that can be a straight line, you can pretty much use as a beam. I challenge you to see how creative that you can get with finding things that you can use as a beam. All right, so for beam today, we are going to be working on one of my favorite things, which is jumps. The first jump that we are going to do is straight jumps. Now, when we're doing jumps, there are some helpful things to remember, and that is to make sure that we bend our knees before we jump so that we can get extra height, and also to make sure that we swing our arms down and then up when we jump so that we can try and get up as high as we can off the beam. We want to make sure we're also squeezing our legs together and squeezing our belly while we're jumping so that we can make sure that we stay super tight. All right, so we're going to do our straight jumps first. And a straight jump, if you don't know, is where you just jump up and we straighten our legs. It's kind of like pretending you're jumping like a pencil. All right, we're going to do 5 of those now together. When you land, if you feel kind of wobbly, I know I feel wobbly on the beam, try and bend your knees so that you can balance better and you can put your arms out to your side if you need to. All right, 1, 2, 3, whoa, 4, and 5. Great job. All right, next we are going to do stretch jumps. So stretch jumps are pretty much the same thing as a straight jump, except you're going to try and jump forward instead of just jumping up. Same things go here though. Bending our knees when we start our jump and land our jump will help us to balance, and making sure we swing our arms up while we jump. Let's do 5 of these together now. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Do you think you jumped further on your beam than I did? Okay, next we are going to do tuck jumps. These are my favorite jumps to do on the beam. They're a little bit trickier and they take a little bit more practice to get the hang of, but I know you can do it. So if we remember, tuck jumps are where we bring our knees up to our belly. But when we do this, we're going to start and land on the beam. Let's practice 5 of these together. 1. It's okay if you wobble or fall off your beam. That's why we practice. 2. See how I made sure to bend my knees and put my arms out to help balance? 3. 4. And last one. 5. I challenge you to see if you can practice doing 5 tuck jumps every day. They can be just on the floor, they could be on your beam if you want to. They're a great jump to practice and a super important one for lots of skills in gymnastics. Okay, the last thing that we are going to do on beam is we're going to review our turns, specifically our pivot turns. So pivot turns, I'm going to turn my mat the other direction so you can see my feet. Pivot turns are where we have one foot in front of the other. We go up on our toes and we're going to turn away from the direction that we are. If I turn towards my leg that's in front, I'm going to get my legs crossed and I'm not going to be able to turn very well. So you want to make sure you turn towards your back leg, just like we did with our turns on the floor. All right, let's practice 5 of those together. You can start with your right leg in front or your left leg in front. 1. Another important thing to remember is to try and bring your arms up when you turn. It's okay if your beam gets kind of scrunched up and you have to put it back out each time like mine is. 2. 3. 4. Oh, gotta get dressed for beam. And 5. Thanks for doing beam with me today. Let's go have another quick water break, and then we're going to start vault. Now that we've had another water break, are my superhero gymnasts Ready to do some vault? Alright, I am super excited. Today, we are going to be working on hurdles and on donkey kicks. But first, we need to make sure we have equipment for vault. So, the first thing that you're going to need is something that you can use that's flat for a vault. I'm going to take the same towel that I was using for beam, but fold it up in a square and use it in place of a vault. You could do the same thing if you were using a rolled up blanket or rolled up sheet, and you can just fold it into a square and use that. You can also put a piece of tape or a tape square on the floor with an adult's permission. See what types of things you can find to use that are a soft square you can do for vault. The other thing that you're going to need is something you can use for sort of a raised surface. I'm going to use a couple of couch cushions that I have so that I can have something that's a little bit higher off the ground to practice my donkey kicks on. You could use a couch or a bed with an adult's permission, or a stack of towels, a stack of blankets, just something that can get your hands a little bit higher up off the ground. And if you don't have anything, that's okay too. You can do all of this just on the floor. And the third thing that we need, I know lots of things that we need today, is a little bit of space that we can practice our hurdles in. So I have my yoga mat out here today, just so I make sure that I have space to do it. But you can also just do this on the ground. That's why I'm wearing shoes. Okay, so a hurdle. When we hurdle, we bring our dominant foot, so in this case, I'm going to bring my left foot in the back and my right foot on the ground. I'm going to bring my left foot, which is my favorite foot, up, and then push off my right foot. So it looks like this in faster. So I'm going to step on my right, bring my left up, and push. You can do the same thing if your right leg is your favorite, where you step on your left foot, bring your right up, and jump. Alright, let's practice 3 of these hurdles together. We're going to do them kind of in place so that if you don't have as much room, you can still practice them. So I'm going to step on my right, bring my left up, and hurdle. 2 more. 1 and 2. Alright, the next thing that we need to practice is our donkey kicks. So now you're going to want to grab your square that you're going to use for your vault. I'm going to put it down in the middle of my mat. For donkey kicks, we want to make sure we put our hands flat on the ground. We don't want to be up on our fingertips like spider hands. We want to be flat with the whole palm of your hand on the ground. And you're going to put them down and you're going to pick your feet up just a little bit. Like this. Let's practice 3 of these together now. 1, 2, and 3. My cape is flying around here. Do you have the cape? Is it flying around while you're doing your donkey kicks too? Okay, next we are going to grab whatever you're going to use for a raised surface for vault. And we're going to practice 3 donkey kicks on our raised surface. So it's the same thing. Make sure we have our hands flat and make sure we jump our feet up. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now we're going to put those 2 things together. Kind of like how we might hurdle onto a springboard and then up onto the vault, but we're just going to do it on the ground. So we're going to do a hurdle, and then we're going to put our hands down on whatever you're using for your vault and do your donkey kick. So it looks like this. Hurdle, donkey kick. Let's practice 3 of those together. So we're going to hurdle and donkey kick. And hurdle and donkey kick. And hurdle and donkey kick. Fantastic job. Okay, the last thing that we are going to do for vault, if you have some space, try and walk or run up into your hurdle and then to your donkey kick. If you don't have space, you can just keep practicing your standing hurdle to your donkey kick. So I'm going to step back off my mat just a little bit, and I'm going to take a couple of steps, then hurdle and donkey kick. Let's practice 5 of those together. You can make your steps a little bit faster, almost a run, if you would like to try that too. So I'm going to step, hurdle, and donkey kick. 4 more. Step, hurdle, and donkey kick. 3 more. You're doing a great job. Step, hurdle, and donkey kick. It's kind of fun to imagine I'm flying like a superhero. I'm going to step, hurdle, and donkey kick. All right, 2 more. Let's make them great. I'm going to step, hurdle, and donkey kick. Last one. I'm going to try and run a little bit into this one. If you would like to try with me, feel free to. And donkey kick. Whoa! My cape went all the way over my head. I had so much power on that donkey kick. Did you have a cape that flew over your head too? All right, thank you for working on vault with me today. That was loads of fun. That is one of my favorite things to practice at home. See if you practice more at home. Maybe you'll have more fun too, doing it too. All right, thank you for joining me today, gymnasts, and all of my superheroes out there too. And I hope you'll tune in for the next episode to have even more fun doing gymnastics. Bye!
Thank you for joining us for Gymnastics at Your Home with Kid Spirit. Gymnastics is such an important skill. Your child is learning balance, coordination, agility. They're building their confidence as they work through things that they thought they couldn't do. Might have been something that they were afraid of, so it's so important. Be sure to subscribe. Watch our future episode. We'll have an episode out every week. Below, you'll see our webpage, you'll see our email. Be sure to let us know what you'd like to see in future episodes. If you liked us, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Thumbs down won't offend us. We want your feedback. Be sure to give us your comments below. Share, subscribe. Thank you for joining Gymnastics for Your Home from Kid Spirit.